to my channel. So today we'll be making that beautiful gown you saw at the picture and video. So these are the items we'll be needing for drafting this beautiful gown. So you can see the line. I already removed 1 inch down and I ruled a line as my starting point. So now I'm marking my shoulder, which is 8 inches, and my neck width, which is 2.5 inch, and the neck depth, which is 3 inch. So I'm connecting it with a curve ruler. So by that 8 inches I mark as my shoulder, I'll go down by 1.5 inch and connect it to the neck width. So now I'm marking down my armhole, which is 8 inches. My armhole line, which is 8 inch. So now from the top of the line, I'll mark 12 inch, which is my bust point. Then 16 inches, which is my under bust. And 19.5, which is my waistline. I'm adding 0.5 inches as my allowance. So my armhole line, I'm labeling it my armhole line, my bust point line, my under bust line, my waistline. So the 8 inches I mark towards the shoulder, I mark it as my armhole line. Then I'll connect it with a straight line from that 1.5 inch slope down to the armhole. So I'm going to take my bust measurement. Then the armhole line, from the 1.5 inch down to the armhole line, I'll divide it by 2. Then I'll go in by 0.5 inch. Then I'll draw my armhole curve. So now I'm marking my bust point, that's my nipple to nipple. My nipple to nipple is 9 inch, so I'm marking 4.5 from the bust point down to the waistline. So I'll connect them with a straight line. So I'm going down from my bust point by 1 inch. Then I'll take my dart, half inches from my waist to my under bust. So I'll connect it from my waist down to that 1 inch I came down with. So I'll go in from that bust point to 1 inch inside. Then I'll mark 2 inch for my bust dart. This 2 inch I'm marking it because that's the difference between my front waistline and my back waistline. If yours is more than that, you can put, if yours is more than 2, you can put your measurement. Now I'm marking my waist measurement plus 1 inch is that. Then I added 0.5 inches allowance. So I went back to the bust to add 0.5 inches allowance too. Then I'll connect it. So I'll add half inch sewing allowance round. Then connect them. So I'm cutting it now. When cutting the bust, make sure you fold the bust darts before you cut. Once you fold it, you see that the lines are not straight. Then you use your ruler to straighten it before cutting. This is our front pattern. So back pattern, I'm putting my shoulder measurement, which is 8 to neck 2.5. Then I go the neck depth. I used 1.5 inches. So I'll connect it to curve ruler. Go down by 1.5 inch and connect it to the shoulder, just the way we did at the front pattern. 8 inches downward, which is my armhole. 16 my underbust, then 17.5 my waistline. You can see my waistline at the back and front is different. There are 2 inches difference. That was why I used the 2 inches as my bust dart. So now I'm going to mark 8 inches, just the way I mark at the shoulder. Then I'll connect it from that 1.5 downward. My bust measurements, which is 11. Then I'll divide the armhole line into 2, which is 4. Then I'll go in by 1/2 inch, just the way I did at the front. Then I'll connect it with my curve ruler. So I'm imputing my nipple to nipple measurement. So I'm starting from the, if you remember at the front pattern, we did not start from the armhole line. We started from the bust point and we went down by 1 inch. But this you're starting from the armhole line down 4.5. Then you connect it on a straight line. Then you mark your half inch that allowance. Then you connect it. So I'm adding my allowance, my ease allowance, my waist measurements. I'll impute my waist measurement with the darts, which is 1 inches. Then my ease allowance. Then I'll connect it. So this is my zip allowance. I left 1 inch zip allowance, so I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch down from the waist. Then I'll connect it to the neck depth in a slant way, 1/2 inches from the waistline. That's to eliminate the bulge at the back. So I've cut, I added my 1/2 inch and cut off. So this is my front and back pattern. So let me show you the 2 inch. Once I fold, you can see the lengths are not the same, but once I fold the 2 inches inward, it's the same. So this is the down part of the gown, and I deducted 19.5 inches, which we used as the top, to get my full measurement, which is 42. So I came down by 1/2 inch, which is my starting line. And what I marked just now was my hip line, which is 9 inches. So now I'm marking my waist measurements. I'm not putting that, so I'm just adding 1 inches allowance. Then my hip allowance, then I'll add 3 inches to my hip allowance. You know, the gown is like an A line. So at the down, I'll put the same measurements, my hip measurement, but at the hem side, I will add, instead of 3 inches, I added 5 inches. But after sewing the clothes, I noticed it was the down was too sharp, so I had to reduce from the waist. I reduced it to 2 inches instead of 3. Then at the length, I made it 3 inches. So you connect from your waist to the hips and downward. So I'm labeling it hip line and my full skirt line, that's hem line. So I'll cut it off. This is my front pattern. So I placed it on the back pattern and just trace it out, leaving 1 inches behind. I just traced it out. I left 1 inches for zip allowance, then place the front on it, then trace it out. So now I'm going to cut out. So towards the waist, I went in by 1/2 inch, then connect it to the hip line with a curve, just the way we did at the zip. Connect it on a straight line, then I'll cut it off. So that's all with the down parts. This is the front and this is the back. So we are drafting our sleeve now. So I'm going down by 19 inches where I want the sleeve to stop, because I'm going to put a band at the down part. So I'm going down by 19 inches and I'll connect it on a straight line. So from the starting point, I'll mark down my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4.5 inch. Connect it on a straight line. Then I'll input my arm measurement, my round arm measurement, which gives me 8. Then I'll connect it from that 8 on a straight line to the starting point. You can see how I'm placing it. Then I'll find the midpoint between the straight line and mark. Then I'll go in by 1/2 inch upward and 1/2 inch downward. Then I'll connect it with a curve to get my sleeve cap. Just watch what I'm doing, but if you can curve it without using the curve ruler, you can as well do that. Then I'll take my down sleeve measurement. I'll impute it. I'll input it at the down part, then I'll connect it down. Connect it on a straight line. I added half an inch ease allowance. Same thing, then I'll connect it on a straight line from the sleeve cap down to the down of the sleeve. Then I added 1 inch joining allowance. Connect it on a straight line. Now cut it out. Our sleeve is ready. So let's cut the band part of the sleeve. So I'm going to take the measurement. I need it to be as long as 4 inches with ½ inch allowance. So I measured my round band. So I'll impute it. I fold it into 2 and I measured 5 inches. Then I'll cut it off. I'm going to cut 4 pieces of this band when cutting. 4 pieces of it. Then I'll join it. I'll show you when I'm joining the band so that you see what I mean by that. So we are done with the pattern. Cut out my fabric using my pattern. So this is the front and back for the upper body. And this is the band. I told you I was going to cut 4 pieces of it. So let me show you. One, 2, 3, 4. So this is our sleeve. I cut 2 of it. And this is the skirt part of the dress. This is the front pattern and the other is the back pattern. So this is the front upper body. So I'm going to hold in my darts, my bust dart, then my normal darts, Then I'll come back and show us the back body too. As you can see in this picture, it's still together. I ironed it to get the midpoint, so I'm going to separate it because I'll be adding a zip. So I'll separate it at the middle. I'll cut it off into 2 pieces. Then I'll impute my waist dart. This is my sleeve. I will attach the band to it. Then I will sew it with 1/2 inch after imputing my band. This is my band. So I'll place the 2 on it, then I'll sew it at the top of it, then I'll turn it, give it a nice press, then attach it to the sleeve, to the down part of the sleeve, before closing it with 1/2 inch. So this is my back skirt. So I ironed it too. I'm going to cut it just the way I cut the upper part. I'll cut the down part too for zipper allowance. Then I'll attach the upper part to the down part. So I've joined the band and I've ironed it and torn it. So this is it before attaching it to my sleeve. So the place that is not sewn is the one I'm going to attach to the sleeve. So this is my front bodies. I've sewn in my darts, my bust darts, and my waist darts. You can see from the picture. So I'll attach it to the front down bodies, that's the skirt part. I'll attach the up to the down part of the dress. Then this is the back. I've opened it, sewn in my waist dart. So I'm going to attach the up part too to the down part of the back bodies. This is the second piece. So I'm showing you the down part of the back piece. I've also opened it up. So I'm showing you the up and the downside. So I'll attach it with 1/2 inch. I'll sew in. I'm through with joining in. I joined the upper parts of the back and the down part of the back together. I'm showing you the shoulder part, which I joined with 1/2 inch. That's the front shoulder and the back shoulder with 1/2 inch. So I join the front bodies and the back bodies with 1/2 inches from the armhole down to the hem. That's the full length of the gown, 1/2 inch. So I added my sleeve. So that's the band. I attach it to the sleeve. So I impute my sleeve to the gown. Remember, we left 1 inch for zipper. So this is the 1 inch. I haven't attached my zip yet. So I'll measure the neck so I can get the neck measurements to use in cutting my neckband. So this is my neck. Let me take the measurements so I can use it to cut the neck band. You know, this is a high neck gown. So I'm measuring the neck. (21 inches). So I'm going to cut the band straight 21 inches. I added half an inch to the band. So the length is 21 inches. Then the width folded into two is 4.5 inches. So the length is, as you can see, 11.5. So I added 10.5. So I added half inches. So I'm going to go straight and iron it so that I can get the midpoint. So I'll attach gum stay to half of it, then leave half of it. So once I attach gum stay to half side of it, then the other half side will not have any gum stay. Then I'll fold it in by half an inch as for the joining. Half an inch from the both side, half inch. That half inch will be what I'll use in attaching the band to the neck. Right. So this is, I'm showing you how. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I post a new video. Thanks for watching. Thank you.